Thanks for logging on to myfoxhurricane.com. Still watching Tropical Storm Philippe. It's actually showing some signs of a little bit better organization today. And also, we're still watching that same Invest 91, which will be working its way to the west or the northwest and kind of falling right in the footsteps of Philippe in some respects. So here's another view of this where we're looking at the wind shear coupled with that satellite. So here, that is Philippe, that is Invest 91 sitting just behind it. But you see what's going on. The further north that you go, you get more into this area of that stronger wind shear. And that's what the storm has been dealing with over the past several days. Yesterday, the center was basically completely exposed. All the deep convection was sitting well away from the center. And it really looked like it maybe had a number of hours until it was going to dissipate. But through the overnight hours, had a big burst of convection. The wind shear decreased ever so slightly, just enough to give this system a little bit of a reprieve and gain it back a little bit of its structure and a little bit of that intensity. So it's gone from 45-mile-an-hour winds back up to 50-mile-an-hour winds. But you look at where the icon is. It's right on the edge of the convection. So Hurricane Center noting the eye, or I shouldn't call it the eye, but the center of the storm, because a tropical storm doesn't have an eye, but the center of the storm is sitting right on the edge of this, partially exposed, which compared to yesterday, it was completely exposed. So it does look a little bit better on satellite imagery, but that forecast track really hasn't changed all that much. They're keeping the strength a little bit longer, but as it continues to work its way towards the west, eventually the wind shear and that dry air does look like it will take its toll on this system, but it still could bring some heavy rains across portions of the Caribbean down towards San Juan and throughout Puerto Rico as we head into the weekend and into next week. But at that point, it would weaken. It would mainly just be a threat of some heavy rains working its way in that direction. Now, here is that Invest 91. Computer models kind of all over the place with this. Very disorganized system, so really hard to get a really good handle on what that system might do, but it's sitting a little bit further to the south, away from some of that stronger wind shear, away from some of that drier air, just enough that it probably will have a slow time at it, but will slowly organize over the next several days. Now, watch this all kind of play out on the Fox model. Here is Philippe. Here is Invest 91. As we continue through, you see Philippe, it tries to hold together. Eventually, it starts to weaken and dissipate, where you see that slow organization, but really not a big ramp up in intensity. It stays fairly disorganized through the weekend, but it does look like at least it has a chance that it may become a depression over the next couple of days. We're going to continue to watch it pretty closely, and we'll keep you updated right here on myfoxhurricane.com.